All
There we
right.
go. Hey, it's your laid back co host, Greg Fitzsimmons.
And it's your uptight co host, Allison Rosen.
Do you consider yourself uptight?
Somewhat, yeah. I mean, I think I've spent my life wanting to come across as easygoing and laid back, but I'm really not.
Isn't that the human condition, though? Isn't everybody more uptight than they want to be and tries to, like, I spent so much of my life putting out an image of myself that wasn't really me.
Interesting. In
I
what?
mean, I put out this image of this wild, sloppy party guy who didn't give a shit about anything. And that wasn't me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I put out this image of my because I was such a like misfit nerd when I was younger that I didn't want anyone to think I was that as I got older. So I also tried to put out the image that I was like a wild party girl. I remember literally thinking, this is so ridiculous. It's like a women's magazine bullshit. I remember literally thinking like I'd rather someone think I was a bitch than quiet or nice. Because
Interesting.
I was always thought of as quiet and nice. I'm like, I'd rather
No, I
come
think
across
you're
as
a
a bitch.
bitch.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
totally, Allison, you're
Oh,
totally a bitch.
oh, I feel so seen. What a warm hug. I feel seen. What's funny is now I think it'd be better if I was comfortable with someone thinking I were a bitch. But if someone thought I were that, I would not. I really don't want someone to think I'm that now.
I never gave a shit about like if people thought I was an asshole. It really didn't bother me that much because um I always felt like in a very competitive occupation that people are just naturally, you're going to make enemies if you're
Yeah.
trying. You should be elbowing people off the paint a little bit. You should be pushing to get ahead. And that doesn't mean you're stabbing anyone in the back, but it does mean that like as you're reaching for the ball, your elbow might hit somebody else a little bit in a friendly, competitive, healthy way.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And some people can't handle that. Like some people can't handle any conflict whatsoever. And I grew up in a family where you speak directly and you don't worry that much about people's feelings.
I think that's good because I grew up in a family where everyone was afraid of their own shadow. And if someone has a negative reaction to something you said, then you should have phrased it differently. And I mean, it's that just sort of paralyzes you in the world.
Sounds like it, yeah.
I think that now I think that your family's philosophy could be taken too far because you don't want to be callous, but at the same time, being true to yourself and having healthy boundaries is so important.
Yeah, no, I don't think we were assholes by any means. I think we're actually very supportive and kind and generous, but we also like aren't afraid of a good competition.
I think that's
Aren't afraid
good.
of like fighting for something a little bit, which I think is good. But anyway, enough about our childhoods,
Yeah,
Allison.
I know.
Let's,
Well, okay. I'm glad you brought that up. By the way, welcome to Childish, everyone. And this one
yeah,
we are streaming live. So if you are listening to this after the fact, wow, what a hoot nanny you missed. Hoot nanny. That's what the kids say now, right?
yeah.
Okay, I was listening to a podcast and I listened to the first episode and the most recent episode. And this podcast has a very specific theme. And the first
The Sunday
episode,
papers.
it was Sunday Papers.
Wow.
And the first episode, I like one of the guys. The first episode, I'm just
Bitch.
kidding. Oh, damn it! First episode, they was very much, they stuck with their format and their theme. And by the most recent episode, it was more like just the two hosts talking about their lives.
Right.
And I was thinking, this is interesting, but I kind of miss what what the project that they started out to do. And then I thought, uh-oh, should we
Hmm.
be doing more actual parenting talk? And I almost put up a poll on social media and I thought, nah, I'm just going to ask you. I don't get the sense that people are dying for our hot parenting takes. I feel like we strike a good balance. You may speak.
I think if anybody is in need of good parenting advice, uh, I mean, in terms of like doctors and nutritionists, like you're in the wrong place.
Yeah,
But if you want to see like what happens to you once you've parented and the fact that you need a sense of humor to deal with it, here you go.
that's right.
Here's a few laughs with a perspective that's roughly about parenting.
Here's a couple of easygoing, laid back partiers.
We're not bitches or assholes
We're
at
not,
all.
no, we're nice and we're quiet, but we're so easygoing. We're not uptight about anything, dude. We'll never harsh your Mel. And this, you can hear about our parenting experiences and other experiences. Greg, can we just address where you are? Because this is a room I've never seen.
This is not a. Are you just noticing it now? You're just looking up now?
No, I noticed it at the beginning, but I'm bringing it up now.
Do you know where I am?
You're in New York, right?
Yeah.
So what house is this? Your mom's house?
This is my sister's house, and I am in my nephew's room, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
mess. He left it a mess for me, Declan. And
Declan.
he's like, he's 20, he's in college, and he's like a really strapping young man. And when I was doing a podcast from here, I did the Sunday papers from here back in, I don't know, a couple of months ago. And he didn't know I was doing a podcast. And he walked in the room in a pair of tighty whitey underwear. And he was walking around in the background. And I got so much email from the viewers about who's the like young boy you have in the background in his
Who's
underwear.
your houseboy?
I was like, he's just picking up the $20 tip off the dresser. No, so I'm at my sister's because we had a health scare this past week. My mom went in for some tests and she had a pacemaker put in 6 months ago.
Mhm.
And since then, she wasn't feeling 100%. And so she went in. This was down in Florida. That's all you need to
Hmm.
know. And so now we're in New York, and she goes to see a real doctor, and he's like, "No, you got like problems here. You've got a leaky valve, and
Mm.
you've got an artery that's clogged." And so they had to do emergency open heart surgery where they cracked open her
Jeez.
rib cage and went in, and they had to do a bypass,
Mhm.
and then they had to replace, not repair, they had to replace an entire valve. And there was a lot of complications. And she came out, and while they were in there, they realized that the asshole doctor in Florida had put the pacemaker in wrong.
Oh
He
no.
connected the electrodes to the wrong side of the heart.
Oh no.
Yeah,
No wonder she was having problems.
yeah.
Oh
And
jeez.
so she had to go back into surgery 2 days later to remove and reinstall a pacemaker, which is a very painful thing when you're redoing it. And
Yeah.
so she was in the hospital for like a week, and it
Mm.
was really difficult because she was getting water on her lungs and her
Mhm.
heart. And so there was like procedures to drain it. And she was in a lot of pain, and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. And I was in LA for most of it. And then I flew in this week. I flew to Connecticut for the weekend and did a gig. And then I came here from Connecticut on Sunday, and I've been taking care of her,
Poor
and she's
mom.
very weak, and she's getting up and walking a little bit. She's got this breath thing she's blowing air into to get her lung strength back again because her lung strength is gone.
Mm.
She's in a lot of pain, but she's going to be all right. That's the good news.
Good. Oh my God. What a ugh.
I was going to save that because you know how much I love blowing you out of the water on a
I
low.
know. I know. I do. And yeah, and I can tell you right now my low is like not not going to be that low. Damn it.
You're
Well, maybe
not living hard enough.
that's my strategy. My
Oh,
strategy is to flush out your lows early in the show. Because I
uh-huh.
remember your mom's upcoming surgery was your low last week. I think you
Okay.
had a different low, and I had messed up. I had fleshed it out at the beginning
Yeah.
with your binaural beats, I think. Um, how is that going, by the way? It's supposed to help your depression to listen to these binaural beats.
Yes, and it's been good. I'm doing this program. It's called uh I forget what it's called, but It was like $110 on the internet, and it was recommended by a therapist who'd gone through it.
Hmm.
And I do it every day for half an hour for the first 2 weeks, which actually I think I'm switching to an hour tomorrow.
Ooh.
And you put on your headphones, and it plays rain noise and little bells vibrating, and it stimulates your brain. And I'll tell you something, Allison, I've been having crazy dreams, like dreams where I show up late to a gig in Lower Manhattan and I'm living in Brooklyn, but I stupidly took an airplane to the gig, and then I got there and I didn't have pants on, which they thought was inappropriate, like crazy
Yeah.
dreams. And so like I got fired by the club, and then but then I got rehired by Sylvester Stallone to do another gig that night. Maybe he liked that I didn't have pants on.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, thank God he came through in a pinch. That's funny because I had crazy dreams involving New York last night too. It makes sense that
Really?
you would because you're there. But I was trying to get to the airport, and like there were all these different subway lines, and I was trying to find the place that I used to live in New York, and then I couldn't tell which subway I should take to get to the airport, and then I couldn't remember if I was flying out of Newark or LaGuardia, and it was just like, but then in the dream, and I don't know how these are related, but I had this great idea for in the dream. I'm like, I should pitch this article. This is like great. The effect of climate change on gummy bears.
What's the angle? Because there's so many angles on that.
I think the angle would be as, oh, and that there's some book called like Sex at Dawn. Have you heard about this?
No.
I think it's called Sex at Dawn, something like that, and it's about, I think it might be about polyamory. It's like an anthropological look at sexuality. But I was like, I'm gonna call it something like Gummy Bears at Gummy Bears at Dawn. But I think the angle was just gonna be like, as the climate changes, how is that going to affect the ingredients and the cooking time? Because you know how, like, if you're cooking something at
Oh
a
my
higher altitude,
God.
if you're
Yeah.
cooking something in a higher altitude, you do it for a different amount of time.
Right.
But then, as I was waking up in real life, I was like, how climate change affects cooking does seem like a legit story, like a New York Times magazine story.
Yes. Yeah.
Someone
But
either
it's
assign it to
strange that
me.
you focused in on gummy bears as something that's a like a culinary like that there's going to be struggles with
The
creating them.
Bears. Daniel, it's interesting you say struggle because we've been giving Owen fiber gummies, and the new bottle that I got is in the shape of little bears. And he does struggle to poop. But Daniel bought some high-end gummy bears for the kids. So I think that put that idea in my head. I don't know.
We play as you know, beach volleyball on Sundays in Venice, and we have a bunch of guys that are potheads, and so
Hmm.
they show up with gummy bears every week because that's a big
Oh,
thing, is gummy bears that are filled with pot.
right.
And they give them out and everybody eats them. It's Sunday morning and everybody eats a handful of gummy bears, and then we start playing volleyball, and our league is called the Shirts because we're the only men on the beach playing volleyball with shirts on, because we're all like 50 years old. And so and then sometimes like people will come along and they'll say, can I join the game? And we're always like, yeah, jump in. We love somebody who's actually maybe in shape and can pick up some slack here. And so they start playing, and then we have to keep explaining the rules to them because we're so high that we make up rules as we go along. Like we play one infinity hit, which means normally you can only hit it 3 times.
I didn't even
But
know that, but sure.
are you serious?
I don't know
You
beach
grew up in
volleyball.
Orange County, California, and you don't know the rules of volleyball? It's your only cultural like
I know.
property.
I know. Is that does that is that beach volleyball or indoor volleyball? You can only
Either
hit it three
one, three
times?
hits. That's it.
I don't think we played that way. I don't think it
So,
was a I don't think it was a concern where I was concerned
well,
when I was
if you
on the
play
team.
with us in Venice Beach, and you'll have to keep your shirt on, we we play that in each game, each team gets one infinity hit, which means you can hit it as many times as you want before you hit it over again. And we also play
Oh,
quatre fromage hits, which means one time you can hit it 4 times. And we also
I like the
play,
cheese is in the word. Wait, you mean like it gets passed 3 times before it goes over the net?
yes.
Got it. Maybe I did know that. Yeah.
And then you can play it off the pole, you can kick it, you can use your head. You can, if somebody serves it and it doesn't make it over, somebody on the team can help it over.
Oh,
And these
nice.
people are like they are so fucking sad that they joined our game. They're like, what? It's just a bunch of stoned middle-aged guys making shit up.
They're like, I put my shirt on for this.
I know we've had guys try to take their shirts off and we say, excuse me.
Is it co-ed or just dudes?
Oh no, it's co-ed. Morgan, my yoga instructor, plays with us.
Well, I feel like she must be really good.
She is. She actually played in high school and she's got a great serve. What other women play? My wife, I don't think has ever played. Sometimes she comes and watches, but she doesn't play.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
You have such an idyllic Venice life. And speaking of that, Greg, it is like high 60s in LA right now. It's going to be
Really?
90 in 3 days or something, but right now it is actually kind of cool and nice.
Oh, that's high 60s in the valley, which means it's probably like 50 in Venice.
I think it's
Probably
snowing
cold.
in Venice, yeah.
Yes.
I feel like we should do some news. What say you about news?
Snooze it up,
Let's do it.
child.
So interesting story. A 12-year-old boy in the Netherlands went to court to receive permission to get the COVID vaccine so that he can visit his grandmother who is battling lung cancer. So you need to have parental consent in the Netherlands, and his parents are divorced, and his mom said it was okay, and his dad had concerns because of all the reasons people are afraid of the vaccine. And the court overruled it and said that the concerns of the father are not based in science. This is my loose interpretation. This is BS. So the kid can get the vaccine, and it made me wonder. Here, do kids need? Well, 12 and above, do they need parental consent? It's funny. That's the kind of thing where it would have been, my whole life would have been like, do I need consent when I was a kid? And now that I'm an adult, I never even think about that. In the US, in 16 states, teens can make their own decisions for what they're calling quote unquote general medical care. Here are the states: Alaska, Arkansas, Idaho, Alabama, Oregon.
Oregon,
How did you know?
because Oregon never allows rules. They allow all drug use now. They've decriminalized heroin, cocaine, LSD, mushrooms, whatever.
Yeah.
They're the only state that has the Kevorkian law where you can kill
Oh,
people for
right.
them.
Right.
Yeah.
How is it going for them? How is that working?
Well, there's less people that are depressed because they're high and they're dead.
Because I believe in decriminalization. At the same time, actually to see it in action and to see it work well is complicated.
Decriminalizing drug use or the Kevorkian method?
I believe in probably both, honestly,
Yeah.
but I was speaking about drug use. Okay. Kansas, South Carolina, Illinois, Maine, Massachusetts, Montana, Nevada, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. California not on there, which I guess makes sense.
And this is in relation to which laws?
It's in
The
relation to
laws in general?
what they're putting under the category of general medical care. So the COVID vaccine is part of that. So
Right.
in these states, a minor can make their own decision regarding general medical care. And then there's like special conditions in certain states, like in California and a few others. I believe it's 16 and up can make their own decisions regarding care around STDs. So I'm imagining that's like the HPV vaccine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, yeah, I think if a kid is smarter than his parents and knows that he needs a fucking vaccine, he should be able to get it. He
I
should
agree.
die because his father watches too much Fox News.
Right. I agree with you. So now Owen is not no longer a minor, but JoJo is. Did you have to give
No,
her
she's
some?
not a minor either. She's
Oh,
18. Yeah.
that's right. Okay.
She can
So then
vote.
they could go get their vaccines on their own. They didn't need anything from you.
That's correct. And yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Although, yeah, never mind. I was going to tell you a story, but it's better if I don't.
Well, that is certainly intriguing. You'll have to tell me off mic.
I'll tell you
Uh,
off mic.
Tell me one of your stories.
Okay. I was in Boston and I'd been drinking. A
No, no,
news
news
story.
story. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. This woman in 2018, Sarah Sharp, diagnosed with a rare cancer called choriocarcinoma, and they believe doctors believe it originated from her first pregnancy. The pregnancy caused the cancer. How'd you like to be the kid whose mother dies and you know that your birth caused her to get the cancer that took her life?
I think I would feel bad about it.
Jesus. Do you tell the kid?
Only if you're upset with them. I would, that you play that card when it counts.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big card to play.
Yeah.
That's the Queen of Hearts right there.
Right.
So she had another concern because she had a 1-year-old and she wanted to give her child a sibling, but there was a chance the disease would take her ability to carry another child. So her twin sister, Kathy Stoner, told her that if she needed a hysterectomy, she would have the baby for her.
That's so nice.
So the woman had went through chemo and they saved her uterus, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, then the cancer returned and she had to get a hysterectomy. So her sister stepped in and she goes, all right, give me that sperm. Let's do it. So here's the weird thing is that they used her eggs. You know how expensive it is to do, how expensive it is.
Yeah.
And she went through all of that instead of just going like, hey, just take your husband's sperm and spray it in me. We got the same fucking ovaries
DNA.
anyway.
We
Yeah.
got the same DNA. I hear what you're saying. I don't know if it was illegal. Well, I imagine it's that she wanted her own genetic baby.
But it is her own genetic baby.
I mean, it's a very similar. I hear what you're saying. But there are all these weird rules about your surrogate. It has, like, even if you have an egg donor, if you have an egg donor and a surrogate, it can't be the same person. You have to get if you're not going to use your own egg, you have to get the egg from one person and then put it into another person. So
that's
legally,
the medical industry just fucking running the meter on you.
Maybe. Perhaps. So anyway, legally, they wouldn't have been able. Although, who's going to stop them, you know?
Who's going to stop you from just letting your husband take a little stroll over to your sister's house one night and saying, here's a free pass. She looks exactly like me.
I was going to say, it's not like he hasn't thought about it already.
He's thought about it. He's done it. He's essentially done it. You know, it's like and I'm not bragging, but I've got a 2011 Prius. Now, if I'm going to rent a car, let me rent a 2011 Prius. I know how that baby moves under pressure. I know how it corners. I know how it comes hot out of the stretch.
You know how to reverse.
I know how to reverse it. Back it up. Drop it like it's hot.
Right.
I mean, if anybody can make love to this woman, it's the guy who's fucking her twin sister.
That's right. Like, what are the chances? And this is rhetorical. Thank you very much. What are the chances that twins have totally different preferences in the sack? Probably low.
He would know, count to 8, nibble on the ear, 3 times around the clitoris with the finger, touch the asshole, don't penetrate it. Just lay the fingertip on top of the anus. Leave it there. Let her push back into it. He knows these things.
Oh my God, Greg. Speaking of all of that, Greg, did you know that women are 4 times more likely than men to say that sex is not at all pleasurable in the past year? Isn't that a depressing stat? Enter Dame Products, a woman-founded company making toys for sex that close the pleasure gap. Developed and tested by real people with vulvas in Dame Labs. They're engineered to bring your solo and coupled play to new heights. And I just want to just highlight a particular toy of theirs. It's called the Eva, and it is a couples vibrator that gives you clitoral stimulation during penetrative sex. And I think you've seen this, right? It's little and it's got these
Mm.
little wings, sort of, and it
It's
just,
delivered to my house.
yeah.
It's in the end table of my wife's bed. I haven't used it yet. I don't know why. I'm waiting for the right moment.
Give it a go. It just tucks, it's hands free. It just tucks under there and just brings things to new heights. It's very innovative. Go
Right.
to dameproducts.com/childish today for 15% off site wide. Again, go to dameproducts.com/childish today for 15% off site wide.
Speaking of having orgasms, it's time to get yourself life insurance. You could die of a heart attack during an orgasm, Allison,
Yeah, so I hear.
and you still don't have life insurance. It drives me crazy. Our
I
listeners write in. They're upset with you.
I know, and I told Daniel, and I'm like, people are upset with us on Childish, and he's like, we got to do it. I'm like, I know. Okay, but where
Okay.
do I go, Greg? I don't want to
You're
deal with
going
the
to
whole
go to
hassle.
Policy Genius, because the thing about Policy Genius is they do the heavy lifting and the minutia. You know how there's always problems when you fill out forms with
Yes,
companies?
yes,
They handle that for
I
you.
love that.
They not only shop around among dozens of the top insurers and bring them together, you're going to save 50% or more by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. That's like $1,300 a year. You don't want $1,300 a year?
I do.
All right, well, listen, here's what you're going to do. The licensed experts at Policy Genius work for you, not the insurance companies. So let them navigate each step of the way. They've got 5-star reviews with Trustpilot and Google, and all eligible applicants can get covered in as little as a week thanks to an award-winning policy option that swaps the standard medical exam requirement for a simple phone call. Rated #1 by Forbes Advisor. And I don't know what else to say. Getting started is easy. Head to policygenius.com. In minutes, you can work out how much life insurance you need and compare personalized quotes, find your best price. And then Policy Genius doesn't add on extra fees. Head to policygenius.com to get started right now. Policy Genius. When it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right.
All right. And then just a quick, depressing but important story. The death of 8 babies has prompted Boppy to they've recalled 3 million baby loungers. So I knew Boppy as a nursing pillow, but I didn't realize that they also made these baby loungers. This is similar to a few years ago, we talked about the recall of the Rock and Play, Fisher
Yeah.
Price Rock and Play. So the problem with these items is what they say now is the only safe way for a baby to sleep is on their back on a flat surface.
Oh, now it's back.
It's been back for a while. Back is
But
best, is what they
it used
say.
to be front, though.
It did used to be stomach, but it's been back for a long time now.
Wow.
When babies are placed on their back, side, or stomach on these loungers, there is a danger of suffocation. Between December 15 and June 2020, 8 infants died after blah, blah, blah. Okay, so anyway, the recall involves all Boppy newborn loungers, which are sold in 3 models: the Boppy Original Newborn Lounger, the Boppy Preferred Newborn Lounger, and the Pottery Barn Kids Boppy Newborn Lounger. Parents and caregivers should stop using these, reach out to the company for a refund. So if you're using a Boppy Lounger, stop it.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm, mm, mm. That's not your low? That should have been your low.
That's the world's low.
Yeah.
But I have my own personal low. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, here's
Um,
something that'll cheer you up a little bit.
okay.
Here's a story about a clown in China
Hmm.
who I guess this company called the Speech Academy Asia sent this clown out to primary schools last week to promote the company. And there was a big misunderstanding. And a lot of people were freaked out by it.
I would be super freaked out.
Yeah, I mean, clowns freak people out, especially
Clowns are
these days.
scary.
Just a lone clown hanging around a playground.
No,
And so
that's
people freaked out, and the parents were posting on social media. And then this, Facebook blew up. And then so people, I think, threaten the clown, which is hard to be a
Poor
clown. I mean,
guy,
it's
yeah.
hard. Let's not kid yourself.
And
Being a clown is hard.
it's hard. And when you cry, then it's just like, oh, okay, tears of a clown.
Right.
You know, no
People
one
think
takes
it's
it
poignant.
seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
It's like, no, these are really tears.
Right. Okay. Okay, clown. Sure.
I'm an artist. I'm not a clown. Have you seen Zach's show? What's it called? His clown
Baskets?
show on FX, Baskets.
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
Does he play a clown?
he plays a clown,
Oh, I gotta see
and
it.
his mother is played by Louis Anderson, and who won an Emmy for
Oh,
playing his
yes.
mother.
Yes, I heard about this. I
It's
need
a
to see
really
it.
special show. It's really worth seeing. It's offbeat. It's poignant. It's very funny. Great, really well done. Check it out. What am I doing ads for fucking Zach? Zach needs my help.
I don't think he does, Greg. Why are clowns so scary? Because they really are. I think I've just real fast. I think I've told you. My mom hired a surprise clown for my 6th birthday party, and it scared the crap out of me.
It's jarring because here's the thing about human emotion. It is something that is symbiotic, and when I take in your energy, I respond with like energy,
Mm-hmm.
and I can vary it. I can raise it up or a little or bring it down a little. A clown says, fuck that. I'm going warp speed 11 on happiness. And
Yes.
it's overwhelming. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that. That's not where I am, clown.
It's that's right. It's phony.
Yeah.
It's phony, fake. It's all a musician reference. It's all crash cymbal. Chill out, clown. But then also the clowns that are like the sad clowns, that's too much too.
Yeah, but Ronald McDonald to me is the worst human being I've ever met. I'd like to beat the shit out of Ronald McDonald. I honestly think that if I produced videos of clowns getting the shit kicked out, and I don't mean with the funny plastic baseball bat, I
What do you
mean
mean
really
real?
beaten down hard,
Yeah.
bleeding, like you said,
Like
crying.
like Fight Club with clowns.
Yes, I think if I produced those videos, I would make a lot of money on the intranet.
I think you would too. I
Yeah,
I think you'd make more money than I would with my the effect of climate change on gummy bears.
true.
We should both apply for MacArthur Genius Grants this year with our brilliant ideas.
Well,
Um,
here's another brilliant idea. You ready for it?
I couldn't be more ready.
Okay, Spot Me. Spot Me, it's when your online checking account balance is running below, you don't need a $33 overdraft fee. Overdraft fees, it's crazy. And Louis C.K. used to have this really funny routine about how like banks, when you go broke, what do? They charge you money for being broke.
Yes.
They penalize you for being broke. And so there's some like $11 billion last year in overdraft fees. Like this is where banks make their money. And Chime is this app. It's award winning, and it's an app and a debit card. And it has saved their customers $10 billion or their members, $10 billion in overdraft fees. With Spot Me free overdraft. You can overdraft up to $200 on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals with absolutely no fees. So I love it. It's not like it's unlike any bank fee or banking service that I've used. I signed up for this, and it's fee-free overdraft. If you're looking to switch to a better banking service, this is the way to go. Now you deserve to have financial peace of mind. Join the millions of Americans already loving Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. Get started today at chime.com/childish. That's chime.com/childish. Now, here's my favorite part about this read, is I have to do that like fast read of facts after the read.
Let's hear it.
Banking services provided by and debit cards issued by the Bancorp Bank or Strides Bank NA, members FDIC. Spot Me eligibility requirements apply. Overdraft only applies to debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. Limit starts at $20 and may be increased up to $200 by Chime. Chime member overdraft fees based overdraft fee savings based on eligible members' use of Spot Me V $33 average overdraft fee. Overdraft fee data based on bank rate checking account survey and CRL June 2020 overdraft fees report. I got to get better at that. What do you got to get better at?
It's hard when you're working with perfection, but I'm sure there's some kind of tinkering I could do.
Right, right.
Listen, should we do some highs and lows?
Sure.
Let's do it. You
You
start.
start.
Oh, look at us. All right. My high.
My high.
We went to a park yesterday. It's a very simple high, but we went to a park because I was like, we got to get these kids outdoors. They need to run around. They're both in school now, and bedtime is pretty easy during the week, but on the weekend, bedtime gets to be more challenging. And Daniel and I were both suspecting that they're not stimulated enough. So we went to a park yesterday, and it was just so fun being outdoors, all of us. And they were having, I don't know how, I can't remember how this started, but Elliot wanted me to Elliot and Owen were racing, and I was timing them with my stopwatch on my phone. And they just thought it was the most fun thing in the whole world. Owen didn't really understand what was going on. But I was timing them, just running to the gate and then back. And then we played hide and go seek. And Elliot would hide, right in the middle of like not hidden at all. And I would, Daniel, have you seen Elliot? I can't find him anywhere. And then I would hear him laughing.
Yeah.
But he seemed to I think I really sold it. It was just a really fun time being out with the family.
This is classic all-American park fun.
It really was.
Cheese sandwiches.
I
and
mean,
grape juice.
We didn't have that, but we could have. It would have fit right in.
Yeah.
I wondered, should we bring some kind of big blanket to spread out? And we
Did
didn't.
you take pictures with a Polaroid camera?
No, but we did take pictures.
You did.
Can I tell you, a random child came up, threw his arms around me, just, like from my thigh down. He was little. And it was very sweet, but I was kind of like, what's happening? And then his mom came over and she's like, oh, he thinks you're me. We're kind of similar. And I was like, but are we?
Were you not similar?
I don't want us to be.
Yeah.
I think the reality check is that we were, according to her 2-year-old, but I didn't love it.
That kid's nickname is Reality Check.
Hold up a mirror I didn't like. What about you?
I don't look like your mother. Get the fuck off of me.
And what was your high?
Well, I was in an Indian casino this past weekend, thanks to all the people that came out to the Mohegan Sun Casino. I had some fun shows. A lot of Childish fans came out, sent their love.
Love it.
Oh, by the way, remember that fan came to Golden, Colorado and gave us each $50 Starbucks gift cards?
Yes, you sent it
I
to
lost
me.
mine.
Oh, no.
I used it once and then I lost it.
Oh, no.
I know.
Am I supposed to offer you mine?
Well, I was the one that went to the gig. I mean, you
I
didn't
know.
fly to Golden.
And by the way, when I gave you a tiny amount of shit for not having given it to me yet, for some reason I was thinking it's just like something you could email forward. When it actually showed up in the mail, I was like, oh my God, you so went above and beyond to actually mail something to me.
Mailed it the day after I got home from the gig.
I know, that was so sweet of you. And now you've lost yours? Boy.
I know, I've lost mine. I know.
Okay. I'll think about maybe giving mine to you.
Next time we meet up at a Starbucks, you'll pick up my drink.
That's right.
Okay. So I'm at this Indian casino, which is so depressing. Indian casinos are the height of depression to me, even though this is a very nice one. It's state of the art. It's very modern. It's very nicely done. Nice shops. And but anyway, I just seeing people that don't have a lot of money. Like these are not rich people coming to this casino. And I know, and the table minimums, because of COVID, they've raised the minimums from like $10 a table to $25 a bet. Like minimum bet is $25. Yeah.
That's insane.
And the tables are crowded with people, and I'm looking at
Gouging.
people in fucking $12 pants with $5,000 worth of chips in front of them. I'm like, this isn't right.
No.
So anyway, I wanted to gamble, but I wasn't going to piddle away $25 chips. So I decided,
Yeah.
I said, what's the worst? What's the most that I would lose if I was at a casino gambling? And I said, a couple $100. So I take $200 out of my pocket and I walk over to the roulette wheel because, I'm selling my pins at the show. So I got lots of cash in my pocket. Oh, my life is so pathetic.
I think that's cool, Greg. I think it's cool that you're flush with cash for selling your pins.
So I walk up to the table and I pull out 2010s and I give it to the guy, and he resents that. They like getting a crisp $100 bill. That's it. They don't want my tens. So I give him 2010s and he gives me the chips and I go, put it all on red. I said to myself, I'm going to make one bet. And the odds of hitting on roulette are not 50-50 because there's red and there's black. But there's also 2 greens. And so, so I think there's like 30 numbers and then there's 2 greens. So you got less than 50-50. But I said, fuck it. I'm going to make one bet and I'm going to walk away. And I get, Allison.
All ears.
I think by the context of me doing this during my highs, whether or not it landed on red or black.
Wait, I forgot this was your high. You said it, your vibe says it's your low. So you won.
I hit it.
So how much do you get?
I won $200.
Nice. And then what did you do?
In less than 30 seconds, I cashed it out and I went and I got some food.
Good job, Greg Fitzsimmons, because the temptation would be to keep doing it.
No, but that was the plan. And this is what I've heard from mathematicians about gambling is the more bets you place, the more likely you are to lose money.
Yes.
Because the house wins over time.
Right.
So your best bet is make one big bet and then walk the fuck away. And that's what I did. I walked away and I enjoyed some in-room entertainment. I watched How to Be Single.
Is it good?
Terrible, but I enjoyed watching a terrible movie in my room and not losing money in a smoke-infested casino filled with people that chasing lost dreams.
Yeah. You know who loves gambling is my dad, actually.
Really?
This story reminded me of him. I'm super close with him. We talk a lot. I could probably tell you what he's up to right now. He's sitting in a chair watching television. But even though our relationship goes back my entire life, there's aspects of his life that don't come up in day-to-day conversation. And I wanted to learn more about my dad in a way that's tangible, which is why I gave him a subscription to Storyworth.
Oh my God, I just realized 3 seconds ago you're reading an ad. That was good.
I'm the best, Greg.
Yeah.
I'm one of the best.
Yeah.
And the other ones are not as good, so I'm the best. Anyway, Storyworth is an online service that helps a loved one share stories through thought-provoking questions about their memories and personal thoughts. Storyworth is the best. It is a subscription. You gift it to someone that you love, whose stories you want to collect. They receive a story prompt weekly. They can call in their response. They can respond via email. By the end of the year, they collect all of these stories. They put them in a beautiful hardbound book. And it's a keepsake to treasure. It's an heirloom. It's something like with the one for my dad, not only will I treasure it, but I can give it to my kids. And I really thought I knew all of my dad's stories. So I was surprised when I started finding out stuff about him that I hadn't known. It's genius that way.
Like that story you told me about him in Tijuana with the little people and the eight
ping
ball?
pong and the the 8-ball and the ping pong balls.
Yeah. Right.
That was a story I'll cherish.
Yeah.
Storyworth is a meaningful gift you and your family can treasure forever. Get started right away with no shipping required by going to storyworth.com/childish. You'll get $10 off your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/childish for $10 off. All right. I guess we are now doing lows, and I will tell you my low.
Okay.
Okay. So recently, Owen had a snot bubble, and I said, "Oh, you got a boogie bubble." And he has latched on to this phrase boogie bubble in such a strange way. He says it all the time. When he does have boogers, when he doesn't have boogers, boogie bubble, boogie bubble. And now in the middle of the night, he'll we have a monitor, and I'll just hear him going like, Buggy Bubble! Buggy Bubble! Buggy Bubble! And so I can't I can't sleep. So I'll go in and I'll say, do you have a boogie bubble? Yes. And I'm like, do you want me to get it? No. And I'm like, well, now we're at an impasse, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
don't know if he has this sensation. I don't know what it is. I think he likes saying boogie bubble because when we went to the park, when Daniel went to get him out of his car seat, Daniel said, all right, let's boogie. And he's like, boogie bubble. So
yeah.
anyway,
I could see that being like a big disco song in the 70s.
yes.
You know, everybody goes on the dance floor, they put their heads back and
Right.
they blow, but initially cocaine comes out because it's the 70s, but then a little bubble comes out.
Right. And it could be like, do the boogie bubble. Yeah. I see
Yeah.
this as a hit. So anyway, that's that. That's his yelling it in the middle of the night is my low. Is yelling it in the middle of the night, but there's nothing there is my low. And
Right.
in fact, I feel guilty now when there actually is something in his nose because it's the boy who cried boogie bubble.
Yeah.
I don't take
Right.
it seriously. What's
Right.
your low? Are you going to blow me out of the water?
Yes. My mother almost died this week. No.
I already heard
I
that story.
um well, I'm trying to relate it to Childish because this is a podcast about child raising, but since my son's in college, I can only tell you I was very saddened because he is he was a big soccer player in high school. He was the
Hmm.
captain of his varsity team and he was the captain of his club team. Both teams went undefeated his senior year. He's good. He's real good. Could have played D1 soccer and he decided not to. And then and so he regretted it all year last year. Last year was COVID, so there was no soccer, but his
Hmm.
first year, he regretted it. And so he decided that he would join club soccer this year and they actually scouted him. They saw him playing on an intramural team, and the club team they're like, hey, we would love for you to play for us. And so he started playing for them this year, went to some practices, fell in love with the guys. They're just the greatest dudes. They party, but they also are friends with the women's soccer team, and they go do stuff. And he's really loving playing again. And it's really good for his head to be out. Um, exercising. Like he's a hyperactive kid. It's just
Hmm.
really important. He's realized in his life he's always going to be somebody that needs to be hyper exercising for his happiness.
That's such a good thing to realize young.
Right. So he does all the practices. They make him they make him the center midfielder, which is like the best player on the team. They usually put there, and at
Well,
which he says he is the best player on the team. And then he blows out his quad. What's quad short for? Quadricep?
feels
Quadricep.
like it should be.
I think it's quadricep. Doesn't blow it out, but he injures it.
What?
So
Where
he
is
had
this on your? Is it where?
it's
What
the
part of
front of
your
your
leg?
thigh. It's your thigh.
Okay,
The front of your thigh, that big muscle.
got it.
And he injured it, and so he had games this weekend and he couldn't play, and he's pretty bummed. But hopefully he's icing the shit out of it, and hopefully he'll be able to play some more games.
Good.
Yeah.
Poor guy. Okay, I have what's probably a dumb question, but what is clubs? I've always heard the term club soccer, but like, what is club soccer?
It's the podcasting of the sports world. I mean, it's like in college, you've got varsity, which is, kids that get scholarships, and it's 40 hours a week of training and all that. And then you've got intramural, which is like any jackass can sign up and you play one game a week and it's just for
Mm,
fun. And then club is somewhere in the middle where they actually practice a few days a week and they do have a travel team, but they don't travel to like California, but they travel to Wisconsin, Michigan, bus, like they get a bus for them. The school provides a bus and
So
they
it
go
is.
play away games.
So it is through the school.
It's through the school. It's officially sanctioned. It's in a league.
Mm,
But so it's all the camaraderie and it's all the without the intensity of being in a varsity
got it.
sport. Yeah.
Because I remember growing up, some kids did AYSO, and then I think some kids did club. None of this was through the school though. This was just like local soccer stuff. I mean, that's little
Right.
kids soccer, but
Right. And as you get through high school, in high school, it's like AYSO is like the intramural league, and club soccer is more like the bigger,
Mm.
the more intense program.
Did you play a sport in
I
in
did.
college?
Well, I played hockey, but I played intramural hockey, and then I played on the golf team at Boston University.
Nice.
And then I played every intramural sport. I played intramural softball, intramural broom ball, um, flag football. I mean, we just played lots of sports. It was so much fun, and I lived right on the football field and next to the ice rink. So I was it was really fun, especially freshman and sophomore year. I played a lot of sports.
You know what is a sport that I never heard of until COVID regulations? Pickleball.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
know
new.
pickleball?
It's
Oh, that's
new.
why.
Yeah, it's only been around for maybe 5 years or so.
Mm,
As far as I know, I mean, I've only heard of it, and I play paddle tennis, which is played on the exact same court as pickleball. It's a smaller court than tennis, and it's a shorter net, and you play with a paddle instead of a racket, like a smaller wooden paddle.
right.
But yeah, it's all the rage. People love it.
Hmm,
I think
maybe
it's
I
kind
should
of
get.
lame, but whatever. That's because I'm a paddle tennis player and I look down on pickleball players.
It's a dumb name.
It
Let's just
is.
let's just call it what it is. It's
Yeah.
dumb and
Yeah.
sounding. Call it something dignified.
It's like ping pong more than tennis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got
It's
it. Oh,
silly.
I do love ping pong though, and I also love tennis. Um, Greg.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how we post a prompt on social media, a question based on our
Yeah.
episode? By the way, if you're not following us on social media, please do at Childish Pod on Instagram and Twitter. And the question we posted was, did you fight with your siblings? And we got a lot of great responses, and I just wanted to read some of them. Okay, Obsidian Iris says, my older sister and I got along wonderfully and are still best friends. Oh, how nice for you.
Oh,
The
good for you.
sibling,
Lottie Dot Oogly
yeah.
Deebly, whatever weird geek name you have.
Okay, princesses. The sibling rivalry was tough with my younger sister. Oh, now I take it back. We
Good.
fought,
Drama
we,
builds.
we fought constantly and never liked each other. To this day, we have no connection. I would like to take back everything I said.
Now I almost feel like giving her some help.
Yeah. Cassandra78, my younger brother and I would get into all out fist fights. Now we are besties. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
I think the reason that this came up is because I said that I broke up like a legit fight between Owen and Elliot.
Hmm.
Leslie Coburn, during our teenage years all the time, physical, wrestling, scratching, kicking. My sister and I are close now, though. That's good. Mandy Grinstead, not really, but in hindsight, I've learned I thought we were closer than he thought. No, that's sad.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a short story.
It really
That's like the
does.
shortest short story I've ever read.
Yes. I mean, he sounds like he has problems. Deca 10 2000. I adored my big brother and followed him everywhere, so he would constantly fight with me to stop bothering him. Then I would retaliate by pissing him off because he hurt my feelings. Ah, childhood. We get along great now, but I don't follow him around anymore, so maybe that's why.
Wait,
Sean
just
St.
going back to the previous email,
Yes.
it sounds like that was it a sister and brother? She said
Yes.
it sounds like she needed something from him, perhaps a cosign on a loan or a ride to the hospital. She reached out and he
Mhm.
let her down.
Yes, I like that turn. Yes, I think it's possible. I also think it's possible she's the older one, and so she thought things were copacetic, but then it came out that he had all these issues with her.
Right? Maybe he wrote a one-man show
Yes.
and she wasn't invited, but she snuck in and watched it. And it was
Mhm.
all about how she had emotionally abused him and who knows what else. These one-man shows can get pretty dark.
Yeah, like probably the family, the parents doted on her and she was like, her science fair project won first place. She probably won a MacArthur Genius Grant. that
Right.
like the kind we're gonna win and stuff. And he might have felt like, oh, there's not room for me in this family.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to
So,
go into the sciences, but what's the point when Mandy is here?
and he got a stick and a bandana and he hit the road as a hobo for 12 hard years. He
Hard
looks
years. Oh no, you froze, Greg. Come back.
56.
I'm sorry. Say it
Oh, am I
again.
back?
Yeah, you're back. Say it
He hit
again.
the road with a stick and a bandana as a hobo,
Yeah,
came
a
back
bindle.
12 years later. The sun, he wrinkled face like mine, wrinkled face, dirt, scars, missing teeth. So he's got a lot to say about this sister.
Yeah. Wow. He was running the rails
Yep.
or something like that. Did you know that there's something called hobo code? I
Is
believe
this
this.
another ad?
I'm doing Duolingo for hobo code.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, I think it came out in a Mad Men episode. No need to recap it. Okay. Anyway, you get the idea. Everyone fought with their sibling, but now they get along.
Right. Good.
Listen, should we do a voicemail?
Yes, I thought there was one in particular I really liked this week. It was a woman and her daughter who
Yes.
yeah,
All
please
right.
play that.
Let's do that. Let me find it. Now, Pete, cut this part out of the audio. In general, when I play voicemails, for some reason, the people watching on YouTube aren't able to hear it. So I'm just warning everyone, you're not going to hear this. But Greg,
Hang
you
in
will.
there, people.
Hang in there. We're going to come back.
Hey guys, this is Odyssena, long time no talk. I was just sitting here with my 7-year-old daughter, and we're writing out a play, and I said, and then what happens next? And out of nowhere, she said,
Greg Fitzsimmons.
and I said, what is Greg Fitzsimmons? Why did you say that?
And then I said, like, is it a persimmon? Is it a foot?
And then what did you say?
And
And then she just riffed on the name Greg Fitzsimmons for a while. So I thought you might enjoy that, Greg, because clearly she has heard me say your name in the past, even though I've never spoken directly to her about you. But as she was being creative, the name popped right into her head.
I'm just happy that this girl isn't listening to the podcast because God knows when I was describing making love to the twin sister, that's not something that little girl needs to hear.
Probably not, no. I love that. I don't know if you caught that specifically. Is it a persimmon? Is it a foot?
I know. That's
That's
great.
amazing.
That's
we might have to
great.
name the episode that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either
But
that or
it is funny how the creativity of a child well, the creativity of any human being works, which is you hear something and their minds are so free. It just
Yes.
free associates to persimmon and foot and it just kind of flows and there's no judgment. And she just says it and she sounds like an idiot, but she'll put it out there not knowing.
I respected her so much, and then she opened her mouth, and I
Yes.
lost it, but I loved it. She doesn't care. No, she couldn't have been more cute. That was
Yes,
so
she was
sweet.
adorable.
I would just like to say across the board, if you're going to call in and you got a cute kid, put them on the phone.
Put them on the phone. It's gonna, we get a lot of voicemails and we don't put a lot of them on. And the ones that have a little kid on them, those go straight to the front
Straight
of the
to
line.
the top. But how can you leave us a voicemail? You're wondering. Well, I'm here to tell you. Call us, leave us a voicemail. We'll never answer. That's our promise. 805-317-4243. Again, that's 805-317-4243. And hey, while you're at it, leave us a nice comment on Apple Podcasts. We read them. We love them. 5 stars. Tell your friends. Make sure you're subscribed. Do all the things.
And if you want to email us, how do they do that?
childishpod@gmail.com.
All right, here's one that we got recently from a gentleman, or I don't know. Oh no, he is a gentleman named Alex. Well, he's from Charleston, South Carolina, so he must be a gentleman. He's probably wearing a seersucker suit and some alligator boots, and he's got one of those twisty mustaches that are so in style now. He says, "Hey, Allison and Greg. Long-time listener, first-time emailer. I'm 28 and my wife is 27. They do get married young down there, don't they?
They sure do.
And just as Greg has mentioned in previous episodes, the thought of kids has seemed more and more appealing in recent months. That's right, you're getting older. Originally, when we first got married, we were both pretty adamant about not having kids. But as of lately, is it as of lately or as of late?
As of late.
I believe his southern, um, misuse of the English language has kicked in. As of lately, we have begun or began
Greg, who cares?
to talk about it much more. My
Begun.
only concern.
We've begun. Is that what he said?
He said we begun.
Then that's right.
He is right, and I'm wrong.
Mhm.
My only concern about having a child is the financial undertaking. My wife and I, it's me and my wife, make a combined income of around $130,000 a year, which I'll tell you what, for
down
South
there.
Carolina is not a bad living.
That's right.
But between my student loans and just having bought a house, we have drained our savings down to around $10,000 between the two of us.
It's having bought a house.
Stop it. Is there a specific amount of money we should have saved away before we have our first kid? What can we expect as far as financial obligations for a newborn? Thanks. Love the show, Alex. All right.
Did you
Listen.
say they have 10,000 in savings?
They got 10,000. He said between the two of us. I don't know what that means. Do they not have joint savings? They don't have a joint savings account?
Daniel and I didn't for a while either.
Oh, get committed.
Hmm.
So here, 10,000 is not enough. I'll tell you that right now. So I want to see you guys call your credit card company and ask them what your recurring charges are on your credit card. And they will tell you, and make a list of those and decide, do you really need Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and HBO Max and whatever else? And start weaning down on your monthly expenses. Then I want you to call up your cable subscriber and say, and your internet provider, and say, what are we paying? Do you have any deals available? Shop around. You can save a lot of money by doing that. Don't buy coffee at a coffee store. Make your own coffee, make your own meals whenever possible, and take a break from eating out. Put some money aside.
I agree. But is it possible that 10,000 is going to go further or farther? I don't know. Down there.
I'd like to see them have I don't know if they have parents they can lean on in an emergency, but if they don't, they say you should have 6 months salary put aside. Now, 6 months salary for them is $65,000. That's not $10,000. So I think they need a couple years of really socking it away.
Yeah.
And then in terms of a lifetime, they say that to have a baby today and put it through college is going to cost you about $1 million. Don't let that scare you, Alex. It'll add up. If you're making 130 now, you figure extrapolate, that's going to go up. You'll be making 250 after another 7 or 8 years. And then you'll be able to afford that child. Best money you'll ever spend.
Yes. That being said, I do want to say, hey, kudos on having 10,000 saved, because there's plenty of people who don't have anything saved.
And they have a house.
Yeah. Yes. That's amazing. But also sometimes the hospital bill of even having the baby can put you back some thousand. So that's an immediate expense. So yeah, I agree with Greg. Maybe I'm a notch lower than Greg in terms of like, I'm a little bit more like, devil may care, because I'm an easygoing kind of person. So I'm a little more like roll the dice, but maybe try to save a bit more. Yeah.
God, you are wild.
I'm wild, Greg. I'm not conscientious. I'm not quiet. I'm devil may care. I'm bitchy. I don't care.
I'm bitchy.
You never know what you're going to get with me, Greg.
It's true. I never know, but I always like it. Allison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where can we find you, Greg? Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be coming up. I'll be in Oxnard, California, which is about an hour and a half northwest of Los Angeles at the Levity Live. And that's going to be in October. I forget what, 15th and 16th, I believe. And then San Francisco at the Punchline, November 4th through the 6th. All tickets available at fitzdog.com. And then don't forget, I'm available on Cameo. I just did a bunch of cameos this past week. So get on there, have some fun. Send a friend a message from me.
Wonderful. I would love if you guys would listen to my other podcast, Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. Comes out twice a week. Mondays are a one-on-one, but it's actually a one-on-two because my producer Tony is there as well with a guest. And Thursdays are a fun group show. Follow me on social media at Allison Rosen. I'm also on Cameo and I'm on Patreon, patreon.com/Allison Rosen.
I'm Greg Fitzsimmons.
I'm Allison Rosen.
And we are
Childish.
Childish.
Was there an actual delay or?
I think I froze. Let's redo it.
Let's do it. Okay.
I'm Greg Fitzsimmons.
I'm Allison Rosen.
And we are
Childish.
Childish.
I feel like that's good enough. All right. Let me stop this recording. All right. I think we did it, Greg.
Do we have people that are watching us? Should we thank them?
We do. Yeah. Hey, everyone. Thank you for watching. I'm going to write that. I'm just going to go in there and write it. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Watching. Thanks
everyone.
For
tuning in. We had a fun week.
This was super fun. Yeah.